Hello guys, it is me, the Explorer here today, and today we're doing What If Belle was the Son of Tony Stark, Part 5, I believe. So, I kinda messed up, but yeah. However guys, I have a proposal for all of you. Should I make a new thumbnail for this What If? I'm not gonna change it, I'm just gonna get the same photo and put more armor in it. Or, you like the way it is. If you do, please tell me in the comment section. Anyway. As Belle was walking down the stairs all the way to the dungeon, the elf girl and everyone were looking at the iron guy. And yeah, whatever, just all that stuff. I'm sorry guys, I'm not motivated, but I'm trying to make something sense for you guys, so just give me like a few seconds. After Belle brought Lily down, everyone was looking at Lily, and everyone thought Lily was, dead, so yeah, Belle brought her down. The guys that did that to Lily were still in the dungeon, so they didn't know if she was alive. She was dead. They knew that she was dead, but they didn't think she was alive. As the elf lady said, thank you. And Belle said, call me Iron Man. As she says, Iron Man. As Belle puts his hands on her shoulders, crisscross. He said, "You got a problem with that name?" As she says, "No." As Belle's like, "Good. Besides, my suit's is pretty damaged. I lost the propulsion cannon, and I'm pretty much scratched up as you can see, so I'm leaving. Toodles." As Belle walks out the door and begins flying off. However, he's having trouble, but he asks Jarvis to calibrate the left hand, the right hand that was still functional, or whatever. "Sir, I am doing the best I can. However, your suit's power level is at 30%. And Belle's like, "Jarvis, why did you tell me?" Jarvis said, "Sir, I tried telling you multiple times when we were in that dungeon, but however, sir, you did not listen to me." As Belle was like, "Jarvis, remind me to fix your AI." And Jarvis says, why, sir? I'm perfectly operating at full capacity." As Belle was like, "Well, Jarvis, how much power do you have left?" "Power is at 20% now. 15. And Belle's like, "Okay, we're at the church now. Cut the thrusters. Cutting thrusters now." "I didn't mean right now, Jarvis. I meant after I landed back on the ground." As Belle is falling through the sky, just, "Jarvis, turn it on." And Jarvis says, "Sorry, sir. Power at 10%. As Belle was like, "Okay, got times right." As Belle hits his propulsion cannon, and it pushes him into a building that was abandoned, the abandoned city. As Hestia wasn't there, Belle was like, "God." "Jarvis, power level's at, sir." "Power level at 3%. As Belle was like, "Okay, you gotta take off this armor then." As Belle begins taking off the armor. And let's just say Ainz was in the area looking for something. And Ainz saw Belle's face as she was taking off the suit. And when she saw the suit, it transformed to a miniature suitcase, and she was like, "Huh, how is that even possible? That doesn't make any sense." She's like wondering. She's like wondering if he's really if he's really good at it, or someone made it for him. As Belle begins going into the church, Ainz does not wish to follow him because she was actually going on an adventure with her comrades, actually. As Belle got to his secret room, let's just say it got bigger. And also, guys, I remember that post I showed you guys? Yeah, you remember it. Let's just say that, that wasn't really what I want you guys to pick the shield carrier over the moon base. You see, I saw two people who said both, and no one said both, so I'm giving Bell both. Because if you think about it, I never said that that basement was something else. I didn't say it was part of something, did I? It was part of the shield helicarrier that Bell was building. And when Bell got back, Jarvis said the suit was ready. The Mark V. The Mark V, yes. Faster and much more durable, and has greater power input as from the Mark IV. And that's when Bell decided to tell Jarvis that it's the vibranium. It's the vibranium that they caught. Is it use? Is it use? Is the they fuck the vibranium they got is actually being fabricated and duplicated, and Jarvis is taking tiny amounts of it and enlarging them because Jarvis and Bell. Since Bell's like as like nowhere near like 1% smarter than Tony Stark, he's already perfected the Mark 5. Yeah, actually, he already perfected the Mark 7. It's being built right as we speak. However, that's going to take time. And when Bell makes the part, the Mark 6. Yeah, the Mark 6. When he makes the Mark 6, that's when Bell knows how to make all the other armors. But it will take him some time because he needs the right components and the right tuning, which he doesn't know how to do. Well, Jarvis knows how to do that, but he needs someone really delicate to do it with. And that's why Bell needs to make something to help Jarvis. Because Jarvis can make everything, but he can't do it with mostly machines and welding tools. I'm checking my battery. But that is why Bell is going to make a remote controlled suit. Because you guys should remember the Mark 7. Yeah, the Mark 7. No, the Mark 6. Sorry, guys. I'm just. The Mark 6 is able to be piloted by Jarvis, and when Bell asks for a suit, Jarvis will get that suit. So, that's right. And you guys are gonna be mind blown by this, but Bell managed to make the spacesuit, but he was missing the one key factor: a remote controlled drone, which he needed to know how to make first, because he has the components, he has the pieces for it to be built, but he needs to know how to make it. Obviously, after the Mark 6 is done, Bell will understand everything. Because you know how Bell is. He's fucking smart as hell. He's like 1% smarter than Iron Man, because Tony Stark, because his calculations are faster, and his timing is way faster, and the time that he's like calculating for like the formulas way faster. Because yeah, as Bell begins putting on the Mark V armor, when Bell gets into it, he feels like it feels like a bit more, it feels more lighter and more heavy at the same time, but at the same time this suit has gravity technology to make the suit very light. So yeah, not as light as the other Mark. Oh yeah, guys, Hulkbuster is coming up soon. Soon. And the gorillas have not gotten out yet. Because... Oh, shit. Okay, I don't know if I should do a flashback or not. Whatever. Besides, I can only record when my phone's like fully like almost charged, guys. So I'm sorry for not posting much videos because I really wanted to, but my phone charger did not, because I have to leave it there for like an hour, and when I come back, it's like at full percent. So yeah, it kind of sucks for me. But anyway, as Jarvis said, sir, the Mark V is operational. Shall we give it a test run, sir? As Bell says, yes, Jarvis. And Bell also says, also, Jarvis? Jarvis says, yes, sir. How is the shield carrier? And Jarvis says, sir, the completion of the helicarrier is at 37%. And Bell's like, really? 37? Jarvis says, yes, sir. It would go much faster if we had more suits or more armor to operate it. As Bell was like, well, Jarvis, when I get the Mark 6, it will be able to do that. However, Jarvis, the other marks will not be able to be piloted. Only the Mark 6 will be. Jarvis says, affirmative, sir. After all, I am Jarvis 2.0. As Bell was like, Jarvis, could you take out the 2.0, please? As Jarvis says, very well, sir. I will be now known as Jarvis. As Bell was like, thank you. As Bell was getting on, as Bell begins flying around the sky, and it was day now. It was the day after Bell decided to do it for a test run. As Jarvis said, sir, we have not tested the thrusters yet, sir. We still need time to calibrate as Bell says, Jarvis, you can't make an omelet without cracking a few eggs. As Jarvis says, that makes, sir, this does not even involve calculation, or, as Bell says, whatever. Jarvis, can you get me ready? As Bell is getting out of the church, and Hester's like, as Hester is like so tired from work. She just got done doing her work. As Hester's like, Belle. And Belle's like, yeah? As Hestia, like, like, fell over, was falling over to Belle, and Belle grabbed her, like, yeah? And Belle's like, Hestia? Are you okay? And Hestia's like, yeah, I'm just tired. Can you tuck me into bed, please? As Belle was like, sure. As Belle picks up Hestia and begins putting her to bed, and Hestia's like, also, Belle, I like the new look. How much money did you spend on it? As Belle was like, well, I actually didn't have to spend money on it. As Hestia's like, wants to be shocked, but she's too exhausted. As Hestia's like, yeah, whatever, just next time, make sure you tell me when you're doing stuff. I'm going to sleep. As Hestia goes to sleep, as Belle's like, okay then. As Belle puts on the helmet and just says, whoa. Yeah, this HUD is really more advanced than the Mark IVs. And Jarvis says, yes, it's now a bit more faster to locate enemies now, and more more durable than a Mark IV. As Belle was like, yeah, Jarvis. As Jarvis and Belle were talking and were while going out the door, and just says, okay, Jarvis, ready? As 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 Bell begins flying the suit, he's going all the way up. And Bell says, okay, Jarvis, how much do you think that this suit is built for space? As Jarvis says, sir, this suit was not meant to go to space yet. However, your father, was able to stay underwater for about 3 hours. But I don't think it was meant for it. As Bell says, too late, Jarvis, I'm going for it. As Jarvis says, no, wait, don't. As Bell breached the upper atmosphere, and he just closes his eyes, and the oxygen tank, or the oxygen system, or life support's working. As Bell was like, see, Jarvis, I told you. As Jarvis says, sir, you're breaking up. As Bell was like, damn, must be out of range. As Bell flies to the moon, and just looks at it, just and gets a warning on his suit. Warning, warning. 2 hours and 30 minutes of oxygen remaining. Asbel is like, okay. Asbel looks around the moon. He is scanning the whole surface, and he detects a lot of minerals and a lot of materials, and the moon's a bit more bigger than his moon on Earth. As Bell begins putting a photographic 3D thing on his HUD to where he might make a moon base here, because if he starts making one here, he can start getting materials from the moon, so he can make more armors. Also, the armors that when they're done on the assembly line could be used for grabbing the materials for the factory. Then Jarvis won't have to always rely on old machines that his father made, because the old style of him putting on the suit was eh, pretty old, and plus his father had to think about how to get it off as soon as he put it on. Sorry about that. As Bell was like, okay then. So I'll put the base here, and to start it up, I'll make my dad's arc reactor that doubles the power for it. However, I can't keep coming up here and building it by myself, as Bell is already making schematics for the whole area. As Bell is done with that, he gets another warning from his suit. Warning: 50 minutes remaining of oxygen. As Bell's like, damn, I must have been too much. I must have been too much in thought about this. As Bell begins flying away from him, going back to Earth. He begins like flying straight towards it. As the oxygen says, warning, warning. Immense heat taking effect. Please advise. Caution. As Bell's like, no shit. My suit will be able to handle going back into the atmosphere, though. As Bell manages to get back onto the Earth, he begins to cut his thrusters to make sure he didn't lose any power this time. And he turned his thrusters back on when he reached the clouds. And he was flying, and he was so happy that he was able to do that, because he broke his father's, I don't know, he did something that no one else has done yet. Well, on that planet at least. As Bell was beginning to fly, he sees Ainz and her comrades going to the dungeons. And Bell was like wondering, I wonder, what would they do if I appeared right in front of them? As Bell's like, time to find out. As Bell cuts his thrusters, as they're about to enter the dungeon, Iron Man appears right in front of them. And he does the badass way, he just hops, he puts his feet down to the ground, and he lifts up, like says, I see your familiars going to the dungeon, I see Eyes. As Eyes says, huh, that's a new look. As Bell's like, so, yeah, bit more durable than my other armors, and plus a bit more faster. As Eyes says, so what do you want? As Bell says, well, I just want to see what you're doing. But anyway, I have to go get back to work. As Eyes like, so, how's your armor? I saw you take it off. As Loki's familiar is like, what? You saw his face? As Bell was like, oh, so, you saw my face. As Bell's like, well, no keeping surprises. As Bell takes off the helmet and shows the Loki familiar his face in front of everyone at the dungeon, and everyone's jaws completely dropped, and like saying, as you have to say, he's like, what's he doing? As Ice is like, Oh, I didn't think you were that bold to take off your helmet, as Belle says, well, I'm pretty much not, I'm not really going to hide my identity. I just want to make sure everyone knows who I am. Asbel puts back on the helmet and begins saying, well, it was nice seeing you again. As Belle begins flying up to the sky with supersonic speed, as Eyes is like, damn, that suit really is faster than his other suit. As the Loki from there are asking, how did you caught him when he was his face? And he just revealed his identity to them and everyone at the dungeon. And now there are rumors about Bell, about him being that person, and everyone in the town, that's not, they don't believe it. They don't believe it. Oh man. This is gonna be like a fun like video for you guys. I bet you're just gonna be like laughing so much. As Bell says to Jarvis. So, and Bell says to Jarvis, yo, Jarvis. Jarvis says, yes, sir. How powerful, how strong do you think she is? As Jarvis begins saying, well, sir, I've analyzed her data. Good thing you were stalling, sir, because the helmet was on and I was analyzing your whole party. Apparently, they're pretty strong, sir. Pretty strong, sir. But, however, you're pretty strong yourself. And Bell was like, yeah, because I'm wearing a suit. As Jarvis says, no, sir. I've noticed your strength's increasing, and you're much more aware and faster than before, sir. So I think each time you level up, sir, you're getting you're getting smarter, sir, and you're finding more solutions than ever before. You're even surpassing your father by an extremely well, like extremely fast. Asbel was like, huh. Well, I beg to differ, Jarvis. As Jarvis says, sir, what do you mean by that? Asbel says, well, well, Jarvis, you see, when I go home, and Jarvis says, but sir, won't you leave her behind? Asbel just stops his thrusters, like, he just stops in there, it's like, takes a deep breath in and just says, Asbel says, I never said I wasn't gonna take her with me. Asbel, oh, as Jarvis like, sir, are you sure about that? Because magic in our world, there is magic in our world, sir, but only some people know about it. As Bell says, yes, Jarvis, I'm pretty sure I want her to come with me to my world. As Jarvis says, sir, if that is what you wish, very well. However, I believe I found a solution, sir, to get us back home. As Bell says, really, Jarvis, what is it? Well, since the portal was destroyed, sir, I'm thinking we can make a suit that can fast travel between the portal, that can go through the portal and come back. However, sir, I believe the Mark 6 should do it for you. Start Bell. As Bell was like, oh, Jarvis. So, well, Jarvis, what do I need to make it? Well, sir, you need these materials. However, those will take time. Also, I do not believe the Mark 6 could handle that amount of traveling. I believe when you first go into it, you'll be able to get back to. I believe you'll be able to get back home, sir. But however, coming back will be another thing. As Bell says, why is that, Jarvis? As Jarvis begins to say, well, sir, it could destroy the suit and you with it. As Bell's like, okay. So what mark could handle that? As Jarvis says, well, sir, probably the best one, sir. The mark that your father is sorry, sir. The data for that has almost been not completely downloaded, sir. I do have some files about it, sir, but that's all I have. You have to make it on your own. I have half the blueprint, sir. Asbel was like, great. Asbel was like, well, Jarvis, it's been 2 hours. It's been 3 hours at least. Is the shield carrier almost ready? And Jarvis was going to say, yes, sir, but I suggest you stop flying up in the air. You're using about 50% using more power than you should. Asbel is like, oh, yeah, give me a minute. Asbel begins landing onto the ground, away from the city, just says, okay. So, Jarvis, how much is it at? Well, it's, during the 3 hours, we were at 40%. As Bell's like, I really have, I really have to, I really have to fix your, I don't know, Jarvis, your life. As Jarvis says, sir, don't blame me. Blame the slowness of the of the machines you made. As Bell's like, true. But anyway, Jarvis, how long do you think we'll be stuck here? Well, sir, it depends. As Bell says, depends on what? Well, it depends how much time you wish to stay here, or even want to come back home. As Bell's like, well, I do want to come home, but I want to come back here for so I can visit sometimes. As Jarvis says, very okay, sir. But also, I detect two figures approaching. As Bell says, what are they, Jarvis? Well, sir, they are two monsters, massive ones at that, sir. As Bell was like, Jarvis, is the hulkbuster ready? As Jarvis says, sir, the hulkbuster is still in experimental state, sir. It is painted, though, sir, but at the same time, are you sure, sir? We're still working on the calibrations for if you the part where you lose an arm, sir, and then she will attach one to you, sir. Are you sure you want to do this? As Bella says, yep. As all of a sudden something appears out of the sky in the city, and everyone's looking at us like saying, "What is that?" As it begins detaching a bunch of parts and stuff, going to Bell, and that's gonna take about 5 minutes. That's gonna take 2 hours. But however, the monkeys got there faster than Bell could predict. After was done talking to Jarvis to play it, the monkeys, the monsters begin punching Bell, almost destroying his armor. However, Bell used his lasers to cut off one of the creature's hands. However, one of the lasers he had was gone because it was only one-time use. So Bell was about to use the other one. However, the creature grabbed Bell's right hand and begins like he crushed it. As Bell was like, Jarvis, Jarvis, how much time is it gonna be at now, sir? You've been holding them off for about a good 5 hours, for about 2.5 hours, sir. As Bell was like, come on, Jarvis, I don't have time for this. As Jarvis was assembling the suit as fast as he could, the Hulkbuster was ready. As Bell begins fly, as the Hulkbuster punches the gorilla, putting up the monster all into the trees. And Jarvis is like, sir, I have arrived. Do you wish to link up, sir? As Bell's like, yeah, my suit's it's pretty functional, but my hand is completely numb. Could you fix that, Jarvis? As Jarvis says, yes, sir. The Hulkbuster has much more. It has 50 times more life support than normal, sir. However, I should tell you, it is still in an experimental state, sir. Are you sure you want to use it? Asbella says yes. I'm sorry, guys, if I'm like not making this any fun for you guys. It's not really making it good. I'm just trying, so I am terribly sorry, you guys. If you say that, guys, I will be happy to redo this. But I think I want to end it there. because I wanted to save the gorilla fight for later, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll talk to y'all later.